Support Laneside. Get something cool. All right, we find ourselves down on the lanes with our resident two-handed bowler. That's me, the Bearded Beast, and we've got not one, but two looks at the new Troublemaker Solid. Yes, just like we did with the Heckler and the Pearl, we've gotten two of these, and we've given them two different layouts so we can show off the performance available through these two-handed centric cores. So let's talk a little bit about the first one here. As you can see, we went with more of a benchmark layout. We went with a shorter pin to pap at 4-inch, fairly medium val angle on it. We wanted something that was going to be a big, smooth, benchmark-looking reaction. And I think that's pretty well where we are. We're going to make a quick move here off of the first shot, just to try to get me lined up into the zone. See, I've made just a quick move. Boom, we're already striking. So let's talk about the Troublemaker Solid. So obviously this is the second in the line, still featuring that amazing dualistic core. Now DV8 is the only company that's focused on exploring and increasing two-handed performance through core construction, which means the guys like Brian Bakosh, they're building these cores so that when you drill into them with two fingers, you get the same performance benefits that you would have gotten as a one-hander by using fingers and thumb and so on and so forth. And this, I mean, you're going to see a lot of performance difference here. We've already seen it in the other two videos, but we got something special at the end, so I want you to hold on. So you can see I've opened my angles a little bit here. That last one was a little tight, and that one hooked up pretty well too. We're seeing a lot of performance out of this new cover stock. We've talked about the core a little bit, but the cover here is the Havoc Solid, done at 500, 1500. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. There is no HK22 in sight here. Now, what we've learned in doing these videos is the balls that they want to be smoother, more controlled. They don't want to be as clean to the front. They want to have a real grip. They tend not to use the HK22 base. They use one of the older bases with newer additives to get that traction, as opposed to something like the Heckler that had the HK22C in it. So it was still a little bit, ooh, look at that. Still a little bit cleaner than what we're seeing here, but still had tons of traction. Now, speaking of the different balls here, a little bit later in the video, we're going to actually compare the Heckler and the Troublemaker Pearl to the Troublemaker Solid here. But while we have this one with benchmark performance, let's talk a little bit about benchmark balls. Now, in the past, two-handers had access to weight holes, which meant that the layouts that they were using on symmetric balls, they could create an asymmetry that one-handers could not. Obviously, that's why one of the reasons why they got rid of weight holes. But by doing that, they also removed a lot of big benchmarks from the market. Oh, that's some Dynamicore carry there. Because they've mostly been replaced by large asymmetric balls now. So this kind of fills a spot that we don't see in any of the other brands of Brunswick. This is a big, strong, symmetrical ball, not one that becomes asymmetrical, but one that stays symmetrical. And we're seeing a very nice benchmark performance here. You can see I've struck high on the head pin. I've been light on the head pin. You can see that I'm able to control where the ball is hooking and really open up my pocket here a ton and create some carry that, well, let's be honest, I don't have any business carrying some of these shots. Look at this. Ooh, I left a 4-pin on that. That overhooked. Yeah, I got that right out on top of the friction there. And, man, it still was able to not hook too early. It still got to the pocket. That is some crazy performance from, well, a ball that we've already seen, a cord that we've already seen before. So, in a second here, we're going to take it down to left-handed, but I got to keep moving here. If I can strike from all these different places, I have to keep moving left. I struck at 3 boards. I struck at 5 boards. I've even gotten it back from 7 boards. We're going to do one more. You can see how much I've opened the lane up here. Look at how that carries. That's that Dynamicore in the middle there that increases the coefficient of restitution of energy, which means you get better hits. And we're going to see one right here. We can see it with the left-handed version of Rob here. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Splits the 8-9. Very controlled. Very... I like that look for when I've got something like my benchmark here. If I'm on something a little bit heavier oil, where, say, my rattler that I use on my house shot wouldn't be enough ball, you can see I have to throw that much closer to the friction. It doesn't have a lot of hook, does not get out that far. Very, very smooth ball. Compared to the first troublemaker that we've done here with the more benchmark layout on it, check out the difference we're going to see here. Now, even though we have different layouts, we're only about 4 boards difference. About the same distance, we're seeing a little bit more performance, and that's probably that stronger cover stock. The Rattler being a few years old now, we're seeing that extra performance from a newer cover stock. Let's slow it down here and take one more look at it from our first layout. Yeah, look at that. That is very benchmarky. That is something that I could go to, say, if I'm not in the high-friction house that I often bowl in, if I'm at a tournament, if I need something smooth that my Rattler's just not going to handle here, it's not going to have enough teeth to get into it. Because you can see there on this shot, my Rattler deflected to the right, which means even though it went through the pins, I only actually hit 4 and carried 6, rather than hitting the 1, the 3, the 5, and splitting the 8-9. Let's watch where the troublemaker goes off the deck here. As it goes through, you can see splitting that 8-9, hitting 5 pins, making it easier for me to strike because I only have to carry 5 pins. It seems simple, but a lot of people don't realize that. The more pins the ball hits in the path through the pocket, the better you're going to carry. We can watch it one more here. Look at that. About the same speed off the spot down lane. Started to move fairly similar place, but definitely outhooked it. Now, we got our second troublemaker here. We decided to go with something that was a little faster response layout. So you can see we've gone with a 5-inch pin to pap, so we've moved that break point where it flares up a little bit farther down lane, and we've used a little lower val angle so that it'll have a bit of a faster response. It's going to be, we just saw it there. When it sees the friction and it moves, she's going to move. And as I did with the first ball, I tried to throw it in the same spot. I think I did pretty good, so you could kind of compare apples to apples here. Check out the crazy outfit I'm wearing here. Being just back from the holiday season, I decided to dress as all of the Christmas presents at once. All of them. Watch when I come back on the screen here. So this one here, as we said, we went with a 4.5-inch. Look at this. I don't know what's flashier, the strike or the outfit. And all of these are available at, don't forget, my jersey's always available at logoinfusion.com. Now this one here we went with, as we said, a little bit faster val angle. We wanted to, rather than manage the oil with the first ball, we wanted to be able to get a stronger response down lane and use the friction to open the pocket up a little bit. We wanted to create a little bit more carry. Even though we had great carry with the first ball, we just wanted different motion through the pins. And look at this. Yeah, I left a corner pin. It made it back to the pocket. Holy moly. We've already made a 5-board move. We've already at basically what we did the entire first ball to move to get into the pocket. We've almost already made that off of two shots here. Nope, ball return. Sometimes that happens. So by using these voids that are in the dualistic core, look how deep I'm able to get. Dynamic core carry. By using these voids or by where the fingers transect the core, you can make it taller, you can make it fatter, or you can not hit it at all. But what it does is it maximizes the performance that we're getting through the numbers of the core. Now, as we know, core isn't everything. Cover is 70% of ball motion. But without the right core, without it moving in the right spot, it doesn't matter if you hit the pocket. The ball could be out of energy, have too much energy, be sliding. So we got to match up the best layout with where you want to play on the lane. I wouldn't play that first. Look at this. I wouldn't play that first Troublemaker, that layout that I had it on there, where I'm playing this ball. It wouldn't finish down lane. But with this layout, I've got a little bit more energy down lane. It's flaring in a different spot on the lane, so I can get the ball through the pins just that much differently. This is out of one ball, though. Like one style of ball, one core. Think about, we have the pearl. You could drill the pearl 3 different ways. You've got the heckler that we've got 4, 5, 6 different ways using the no thumb resources provided by DV8 on their website. We can actually start looking at creating an arsenal out of 3 balls. You think you could use, look at this. Boom! Oh, man. Look how much motion I got there. You could use a Troublemaker solid early and then go into a heckler with a little bit of surface and then jump right into a Troublemaker pearl. Or have 2 different Troublemaker pearls. One that's a little faster response, one's a little slower response. So you can use one when they get a little bit drier. Like, there are a lot of options here just with 3 balls for two-handed bowlers. So once again, we have the Rattler here so we can compare apples to apples. And once again, you can see exact same thing we saw with the first one. The Rattler, we played it in the same area. It's smooth. It hits the pocket. It strikes. But you can see that it's deflecting. We're hitting 4, carrying 6. We always want to hit as many pins as we can. We want the ball to have traction through the pocket. Look at the difference in performance where I was standing there. We took the middle strike from both balls, so we weren't using the maximum distance that we could cover, and we weren't using the minimum distance, obviously. But to give you guys a realistic idea to put them against each other, we've created 4 boards of difference and about a foot to 3 foot difference in length just by changing our layout on the Troublemaker here. That is a huge amount of performance just from layout, just from maximizing what you're getting the cover to do. Now, we were talking about adding pieces to your arsenal. Then imagine adding polish, adding compound. You could have two of the solid here, one with compound, one without. You could have a pearl, one at 4,000, one at 2,000 plus polish, because they're going to react very differently. And watch from the lane level here. This is crazy the way you can see it go through the pins. This is amazing. Watch where the ball exits the deck as compared to the Rattler. So we're going to watch it here in slow motion as it comes down. If I ever come back on here, that's the problem of being so slow. But look at it. Once again, we're left of the symmetric, of our regular symmetric benchmark ball here. So we're getting more continuation through the pins. But we have to, we told you early, we got to compare this. So we went and we grabbed out our heckler so that you could see the difference in the hook zone. You could see the difference in the total amount of hook and the zones that we're able to play here. From our first Troublemaker, now we have the Troublemaker versus the Pearl. We've got the Solid versus the Pearl here. Same layout. Look at the difference in performance we get here. I talk about creating an arsenal based on performance. Look what I'm able to do here just by changing the cover stock. But one more thing. I got to play with my favorite little tracing tool here, so we can actually see the difference in the performance here. So we saw a longer, smoother hook zone from the Troublemaker Solid. We saw a cleaner, more angular reaction out of the Troublemaker Pearl. We saw a shorter hook zone that was stronger than the Pearl but less than the Solid. So we literally have 3 different reactions. We have literally a full bag here that you could take out to league or even a tournament and bowl and have a great time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you laneside.